Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Morning Coffee Review. It is Election Day here in the U.S., November 5th, and we're here to talk about things besides the election. So, no matter what you do today, hopefully you get your sticker and hopefully your team wins today. But take your time and do some homework because there was a lot of things on my ballot this morning that I'm glad I researched beforehand. But today we're going to do a review, a revisit, a rehash, a deep dive again back into dashboards. So with dashboards being, or let me back up, with Bluebeam Cloud being a bigger player in the studio world, we're going to test some different configurations. We're going to break stuff along the way. And we're going to go see how we can leverage dashboards that maybe work on both platforms. So before we do that, how's it going today, Michael?
It's going good. I'm excited to talk a little bit about dashboards. I was talking with someone recently about replacing new Forma and the possibilities of projects. Well, it ended up finally getting to that point after I listed some options beforehand, just because they were an architectural firm, and they didn't, the cost for build, which is a robust solution for a CA tool, versus what they're already paying for new Forma as well, projects may fill that void, aka with also a dashboard. So kind of ironic that this happened. Everything happens for a reason. That I went through and covered that, and that actually worked out. So we're going to be talking about today dashboards and how you can create them, especially with the ability to be working with them on the fly from your mobile device. I don't remember when we did the cloud demo, Jason, did you remember if I was able to access projects on my phone yet or no?
Let me pull up my phone.
Because well, no, don't do it now. Yeah, I was going to say, because they're there now. I'm trying to remember from our last one. So yesterday I was doing, by the way, Bluebeam Cloud is awesome because I was in the office. I had to get a chair count of the current chair counts in our headquarter office out in Phoenix. And all I did was upload a PDF to my phone and walked around and did some counts. So how awesome is that? Just thinking of doing, why are you shaking your head?
I mean, that's just cool. I mean,
I was walking around
6 months ago.
I know. I was walking around. Some folks were asking what I was doing, showed them my phone. So again, cool things that you can do with Bluebeam Cloud. But then when I was doing that also, I saw projects. So projects are also part of the mobile device platform now. So being able to get access to those on the fly. Now, the only gripe I have in conversation with other folks as well would be internet connection, because they work prisons or places that have dead sites, right? That have no internet connection. So that does kick you out when you're not connected to the internet. However, dashboards and hyperlinks do work in projects. So I don't know if they work on the phone. So don't quote me on that yet. We'll test it as well. Why are you giving me a stern face?
No, and I'm also looking at Brian's message. He had a PDF with fillable forms and couldn't see the values of those forms in the cloud when I downloaded the PDF. So maybe we'll test that as well. And speaking of Brian, today is the first Tuesday of the month. Therefore, it is Civil Chat Day. Hooray! Also its own holiday. So 12:30 Central? Or did the time change screw that up? Let me check my calendar. Yeah,
you guys
12:30 Central. Change. There we go. Yeah, or 11:30 Mountain still. Okay, so it's still 12:30 Central.
So I wonder. I've never experienced time change because I've lived in. Well, I've traveled, but I meant in terms of like changing of time.
Never like waking up, going through all of your clocks and like, oh, you figured that one clock a week later.
Nope.
Wow.
I've never experienced it. Yeah.
Huh.
Kind of crazy, right?
Maybe it's a traveling event. It totally screws you.
Well, I would have to live in that segment of time change so my body adapts. I experience time change when I travel, yes, but not waking up the next day. Anyways, as you can all tell, I'm way more jazzed because it's a whole hour for me difference now. So anyways, projects, the ability to go through and use them, may be the solution for a CA tool because that was gone. However, not many folks were using cloud when it was in its infancy stage as a CA tool. But if that's what you're looking for to replace something like Newforma, the cost of Newforma, the ability to have Newforma, and then also the ability to go through and leverage something like Build or Procore, right? Those types of things. This may be a solution for you using dashboards. I'll list some use cases here. What it does replace is the ability to share files, right? So if you're marking up or needing to share files to someone else that is using, like the contractor that is using Build or Procore, right? You're dispersing those files back to those teams, and you want to be kind of a neutral solution. You can send a downloadable link so they can download and upload it into their platform, right? So that's that neutral part. That way you're not requiring them to be in some type of solution in order to receive these files. That way then also you can email, right? So you're going to email that link, or you can just share via a Teams or text message. Now, if you wanted to collaborate, this is another great item too. You can initiate it into a session. We all know how session works. And if you don't, go check out one of our old videos on this channel here. If you're watching it on YouTube, and if you're in here today, go back and look, I guess, because we're not going to cover sessions today. But you can do a shareable link so people can actually join via a web now, which is great, right? So they don't need a license. They don't need to download a solution. They can just get in through a web browser to access files. That's another great thing. If they do have a license, they have some markup capabilities in projects. And if they don't have a license, they have markup capabilities in sessions only. So just being aware of that kind of differentiation. Again, go into a web browser and that ability. So how can we navigate and store files seamlessly on projects? Dashboards is kind of that. And I said that when we were talking about cloud going away from its actual CA tools, that being the new solution that we're going to be able to provide as a CA tool, if it fits your needs, right? That's kind of it. I don't want to say it is what it is, but this is what it offers, right? In terms of, does this fit your need? This is what you can do with it. So with that being said, should we go and show off what a dashboard looks like?
Let's do it.
Okay.
And by saying let's do it, pull up your screen because I don't have one.
No, I'm going to do it. I need to get, this is the other thing, like Studio, all this other stuff that I got to be cognizant about.
Oh boy.
Okay, so let's hop into here. Okay, so this is the one from Bluebeam themselves. We'll go through and talk about how to create some clickable dashboards. We're not going to go in depth because there's a white paper out there that goes in depth where I'm going to go and talk about creating a drop screen and all of those items.
Let me go find the link.
Thank you, sir. And I haven't redone that one in a while, and I don't think I really need to because it's all the same. So I'm trying to think. I do need to redo my cloud white paper because it's completely different. People download it. They go into cloud right now. They're going to be like, what's going on, Michael?
And like, I'm sorry to put on the ATG hat on here for real quick, but I'm looking at our white paper section of the website, and there's stuff in here I didn't know was in here. So this is cool. I want to go read some of these. There we go.
Yeah, you can also find the link on my LinkedIn too. Just search my name, and under publications, you can see everything from a white paper. It links you to our website, or you can go to our website and see all of the free content you can download too.
So the title of the white paper is Digital Dashboards in 1 hour. So the clock is ticking, buddy. Let's see.
Okay. So what is a dashboard? Well, see, the thing is we're explaining things in here too instead of like the workflow. So, but yeah, keep me to that. So as you can go through, you have the ability to create a project. So in the project, this will be basically your local storage, kind of like, I'm going to use the example Newforma. Like this company wanted to save costs from a Newforma perspective because they're only using some of the features and they know there's those features in Revu. So from a Newforma perspective, you have the ability to create a project within Bluebeam Revu in projects. And then when you title the project, you can name it whatever you'd like. And then you have the ability to create a folder and then subfolders. Now, The issue with this is that you don't want to navigate, and if you don't have to create the dashboard, you could just navigate. But no one likes clicking through links and sublinks, drop downs through subfolders within another folder within another folder, right? What's an easy way to navigate this for end users? And we'll test it on the phone as well. Yeah, we will. I'll have to log out because it doesn't let you log in simultaneously via the cloud, which is kind of wild. It kicks me out. But what the dashboard does allows you to navigate all of these. So I'm going to go through and click open the dashboard here. I'll split screen. It is a PDF, essentially. So what this allows us to do, PDF with hyperlinks. Basically, what you're able to do is we'll go home, and this will allow you to navigate through your file folder structure to access different files. People can also upload files, and that will be another thing that you never want to whenever you're creating a dashboard, hyperlink to a specific file, because if it moves or gets deleted or, any of those use cases, it'll break the hyperlink. What you want to reference to is folders. So you would create specific subfolders in another folder that this hyperlinks to. So for this instance, if you wanted to track your RFIs in one single location, you could do that in here as well. So what you're able to do is you can click this RFI little tab. It's actually a button that has an action to it, and that action goes to a folder. Well, no, in this instance, it goes to a page. So there's pages in here, and in this page, it jumps you to that direct page. And then from that page, it actually does have another button below, and you can see as I hover over it, where it opens up a file folder. And in that folder, you would have this. So for this instance, you would have in another subfolder, which they didn't do a subfolder. This is just open. You would probably have a subfolder under RFIs. You would have RFI 100 through 149 folder. And then that would be 100 through 149 right in here. And then what you can do is you can either just open it. So if you open it, you can then go through and view it. Now, I don't have the permissions to edit it, and I'm assuming because this is from Bluebeam themselves, their project. The reason is because they don't want you accessing these things and messing with it, right? But basically, you could check it out, mark it up just like you could natively in projects and access those. Let's see. Let's monitor the chat over here. See if people have questions along the way. Okay. So this would be a way to, from a CA tool, are the links relative or absolute? Well, they're all in projects, so you wouldn't be moving things around, right? Because they're going to be going to folders. So that, in my opinion, wouldn't matter. But yes, you can choose your links to be relative or absolute, right? But the theory, when you're creating these projects, isn't to worry about files moving because you're referencing to folders. Make sense? Cool. Mm-hmm. Okay, so from in here, now we have our RFI, we can access it. If you wanted, you could check it out, mark it up, check it back in, right? If it was a form, you could have filled it out, checked it back in, same thing, all within projects itself. So with that, let me, I wish we could share from my phone, but I can't. So I'll just do, should I test my phone? If you all want me to test the phone and see how it works on the phone, I will. But until then, I'll just keep going through here. Okay. So going back, the other ability is to add a sub drop down. Now this is actually, funny enough, a script within a layer. So you actually have a markup that's on a layer. This isn't anything but a markup. It's a polyline with another markup all stacked on one layer. And the script is a button action that turns it on and off. That's all it is. Pretty cool, right? So all this is just saying on. You see it? Mm-hmm. Well, off. On. See? Off. Magic. On. Magic. And then you can also do like web links. So, because Bluebeam has web links, I wonder how this would work on the phone too. But
that's the part I'm curious about.
No. So when I click this one, it brings me to the website, right? So you can put the site information if someone's getting ready to head out to the site for the day. They can check the weather of it. Woo, what's this? Don't know what
What is
that
that?
is. It's probably
Windows
something from this
security.
pop-up. Yeah.
Oh man.
Hit cancel on those. And then you can go to things like site plans. You can attach 3D photos in here, so you can click open the photo itself. But again, I don't have edit access, so I can't click on those actions within the PDF itself. But if I was in the PDF itself, click those photos and then have a 360 photo. So easy way to go through and track everything that's for a project in one single source location. If you're looking to replace an existing solution out there, because you're not looking for a robust solution. You want something that fits into our current workflow. Now let's go into my demo share, because what I wanted to do was show you within my own personal one the ability to go through and share things. So what you do have the ability to do is share access to your session now. So all you have to do in the top right is say share. I guess you were able to share before, but I meant by a web link. So via a web link here, now I can copy this and email it to somebody and show you what that kind of looks like. Paste. Now, the one thing that's bad about this website thing is that it gives you this. You've been invited. Like,
The
can you
links are
just,
crazy. Yeah.
why don't you just give me this? But whatever. So from here, now it's going to ask me a couple of questions. So this is the other beneficial part here, is that people can join via a web with no installs or download. From before, if we remember, they had to have review in order to join a project or get access to those files. Now they truly don't. They can join via the cloud. If they have a Bluebeam ID, right, that's all they need to create, then they can join in and view them via a web browser, right? So this would be for somebody not in the field right now, because we haven't tested projects in the field yet, but we'll go through and do that. So there's a question that was, do you have to create a dashboard for every project? Hypothetically, you do, but you create that ability to have these. You can do it one of two ways. You can create a sheet that's already pre-curated with all of the links that you just need to hyperlink to a file folder, or you can create it from scratch each time. So depending, you create the look and feel of how you want it to look. I did this a couple of times, so I'll go through and show. I don't know if I copied it over from my old one, but we'll show you. I'll show you at least what we did for internal files way long ago. So I did one from internal way long ago, but basically same thing, right? So you can come into here, you can click things as well. I obviously don't have some on here, but basically architectural, if we wanted to go to our architectural files, you have the ability to click into here, or you can go back into home. So this can be pre-curated with a bunch of graphics. I did this in PowerPoint to start because they give you cool little graphics to pre-create versus doing it natively in Review from a PDF perspective. So I wanted to add some volume to this imagery. So just depending on how you want your graphics to look, you can create it in PowerPoint, print it out as a PDF, and then start adding buttons into here. But it's up to you on how you kind of want to organize it. Now you can pre-create everything, just like I said, but you do need to go through and link to your folders, because the folders, that is a manual process per project, because the folder location is going to change. Now, that doesn't mean you have to pre-create all your folders or create all your folders manually. You can create a folder file that you drag and drop from File Explorer. Let me show you that. So, well, let's go through and create one, okay? Because let me start with a new one. Do MCR dashboard.
There we go. I think it's cool how the cloud still can open up the desktop product.
Yes. So from here now, I go to MCR, just created one. You don't need to manually come in here and create file folder structures. I do that just manually over here. I'm looking for this on my files. Let me go to this.
So while you're looking for that, Ed had asked, can you create a self-contained dashboard to deliver on a flash drive to act as an OEM manual? And in that case, you could, right? You just have to map everything to the whatever drive the flash drive is in. However, not every flash drive is going to read the same on every computer.
Correct. So you could do something like this, where I just have in my demo docs the ability to drag and drop this file folder that has already subfolders in here, right? So all I have to do is go to this main studio projects file folder, drag, drop into my main MCR dashboard, and I didn't have to go through and manually create these subfolders. Then you maybe have already a PDF that is illustrated the way you would use and create these projects for. You would upload it into here, and then you hyperlink via a button into the file folder that you're looking for. So I'll go through and do that. Let's see.
That's wild, Brian.
I've created digital dashboard images from, well, they're PDFs from, well, these are images. I don't know why I'm going to. That's that one. That's that file folder. Is this it? Cool. So this is the infinite one that I've created. But basically, you would grab this one, and now we would drop it into that ATG and start creating hyperlinks, right? So there are already existing hyperlinks, and you can just go through and edit those actions to go to somewhere. So let's go through and drop that in. So yes, it's a manual process first to get it all set up, but let me drag and drop it in the main one. So how projects works from a file perspective is you have your hierarchy starting from the top, then you have your sub, and then subs below that. I want this dashboard to be in the main one here, living next to my studio project folder. Great, added it, just drag and drop, super simple. Now I'm gonna open this up, unlock it, because I need to check it out, because I'm gonna hyperlink to things. So from here, what I can go through and do is you can actually edit my actions. Well, these actions aren't gonna be edited. I'm gonna flatten it after because these actions are going to a page, right? So what you would do is you'd create an action here that goes to somewhere. So you can create a button or an action from a markup. It's up to you. When they flatten, they become a clickable link. So from here, I can go through and edit my action. And what you need to do is you need to go to a hyperlink. So this web link here, sorry, not a web link. It's going to open from a, so I don't have the setting set. So what we need to do is go through to my settings under preferences, and you have studio, and I think it's that one unclicked. Yes, so it is. So going back into preferences, studio, make sure this is unchecked. Open and save files to studio from the toolbar. Now check it when you're done, because what you don't want to do is keep, when you do file open, some folks have seen me do that and they're like, why is it a double click? Because I'll hit cancel out of into project and then it'll open my file explorer to search. So if you're creating a project, you probably don't want to always have this active, but when you're starting out, you do. So you can go to edit. Then I would say it's going to go to in my dashboards. So let me go studio projects. Not what I want. Sorry, I don't want to show all of these. So MCR dashboard. Perfect. So now that I'm in MCR dashboard, you can navigate back to your hierarchy. For those that are watching this step by step, it'll default to the project that you were last in creating these. and maybe the first one, I don't know, but this will get you home to all of your projects, this little button here. I'm not going to do that. And then from there, you can go to Studio Project folders. And then from here, you have the ability to navigate through these. I don't know why I have two ARC folders, but that's fine. So this would go to RFI folder, and then you would have 1 through whatever number variable you're doing, but I'll just do the subs for this instance, right? So that's the one that you're going to go through. And you need to make sure when you're going, you're going to open not a file, but a folder. So let me go to here, projects, Studio Project folder. Is that already defaulted here? Perfect. So go to here and then select folder. So now it will go through and there's a hyperlink that's going to bring me to that folder and allow me to access those files. Now, once you flatten this, these thunderbolts go away and become a button. I'll say a selection button because I don't want to get people confused about a button action, which is different than this. All right. Any questions?
Question from Matt. Can you edit the action on a non-PDF file? So there's not a lot of different file types that Revu can open. But like if you had a JPEG or something, I believe you can open up a JPEG, can't you?
You can open up any files that can be stored in projects. It just opens up in its default viewer. So like if you open an Excel file, it's going to go to Excel. But you don't want to just stay away from referencing to a file, because if you reference to a file and it gets deleted, or this is supposed to go to multiple files, right? You're not going to access it. Think of it as folders. The mindset would be a folder that hosts files for people to select from. That's better to think of when you're creating these. So once you go through and flatten these become editable items. So basically, well, selectable items. So all I need to come in here and do is go through and say document, and I can flatten. And now you see it's an index finger. So I would check this back in, right? It's an index finger that allows me to go to somewhere. So if I were to go to drawings, we'll go back to RFIs. I think I just did it from the RFIs folder. That was incorrect, but that's fine. And then you have the ability to go through and select from there. I think I did it from the main page here. Yep. So RFI, and then you would open up that file folder. So just easy way to go through. Again, you can create a template like this and then just relink to your new project because it's going to have a different ID. So you do need to update those. That's what Alex was asking. Doesn't look like he's here anymore, but that ability to go through and re-access those. So this would be a single storage for a location within projects for all of your files for maybe a replacement for a CA tool for a solution you're already paying for. The other one would be people need to access these files to share, right? That was another thing. I'll check this in. So I'll add just some demo files here. So if you wanted, the only one catch is you can't share an entire folder. That's one. So there is a downside. So if I wanted to, you can share a file and I would share a link to that. So what this looks like is to the end user, they do not need a license to download this file. So if you were to share this, they get this screen. They don't need a license and they can just hit download and access it. So that would solve a 10 megabyte file storage issue on Outlook. The other one is caching local. So the project's done. We need all these files back down to our local network drive. The ability to do that would just be under MCR dashboard. You can right click and you can say download a copy. So the hierarchy, again, don't do one folder, but if you do want just the one folder, you can download that, and that will, the Studio Projects higher folder, we'll go through and download all those too as well.
So I was just typing in for file sharing. Brian says he shares large files all the time via projects. He has a project set up specifically for it. And I was typing in, I do the same thing. I have a JSON file share folder on projects where I can just dump whatever file, send those links out.
Yep. Matt, I'll go back and show you what it looks like from an Excel file perspective. So I'll open up, why don't I just drag and drop one into here? You're right, Michael. You're right. Let's see. What do I got from an Excel file? Let's go to desktop here. We'll drag and drop this one. We'll go, that was a structural one. That's weird. I don't have structural in here. How funny is that? Just drag it into here. Okay. So if you were to open up an Excel file, all you have to do is say open. It's going to open up Excel. So from Excel itself, I can manipulate this. If I checked it out, it says read only right now. What I'll go through and do is I'll check out like a book. Then I can go through and open this. Now it's not read only. I will delete all of these. I will hit save, exit, go back, reopen it to show you that it saved it. Okay. And they did do an update. I remember way back in the day, you actually had to keep projects open. You don't anymore. So I can close out of projects, work on the Excel, or if I accidentally close out of projects, it will save back to that one.
Magical.
There's always security concern. As of right now, Bluebeam only allows you to store in their AWS server as of right now. There may be a change in the future for all of you that have FedRAMP issues with that as well. So just being aware of what Bluebeam provides from its AWS server security, you can go and look at their website. They have it under support cases of what they provide from storage. But same as storing in ACC, same as storing in Newforma, same as storing in Procore, right? Cloud storage is here. I get the security risks behind all of those. So if you need to, do your due diligence, but we're all living in a cloud era. So, yeah. And if not,
cloud.
Yeah, I know. And if you're working FedRAMP, you're on your desktop. So you're stuck with that. I guess you could do a dashboard that lives on your desktop. That then, Alex, if you're listening back to this, would be like absolute location wouldn't be necessary if things moved from a local file storage, because you could do a dashboard where people open up a PDF, it navigates through your own local storage. So versus opening up to a file in projects, you could do a digital dashboard for local drive locations.
There's the cloud. Your stuff is still stored on someone else's computer. And I think it was on LinkedIn. We're going to squirrel for a moment here. I think it was on LinkedIn where it was showing a project highlight of one of those data centers that they're building out in Arizona. For some reason, Arizona is getting a ton of them out in the desert.
Which is crazy. It's hot.
It's hot, and the cooling that they're running is like these big old water pipes. So like the actual utilities that go into it are insane.
I don't even want to talk about the resources being absorbed from all of these businesses. I was talking with someone, and one of the main reasons why our electrical bill went up was because of one of the new chip manufacturing sites. So we're also paying for that as local, I don't know, taxpayer, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
Local
crazy.
person.
Yeah, why not up here in Minnesota where it's going to be super cooled for 6 months out of the year,
And now when they were first doing Bitcoin mining, huge tangent, crypto mining, they were doing them out in like the Arctic areas because it's free cooling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seems like the way to do it.
But yeah, so to kind of reiterate, if I go back to my dashboard, you could do a PDF that lives on your local network. These would just go open to a link to a location, right? So let's just say this is as a native PDF itself. basically what you would go through and do is these hyperlink actions would live on your network. So they would go to an open of your file location. You wouldn't do it to open a project. So essentially you would have that unchecked. I think I can get out of here if I just do this. So I do edit action and I go to open from a folder. You can just do open from disk. So instead of, you would have this unchecked, but I would do open from disk. So this would go to somewhere. Let me get out of that and go to documents here. Go to, I'll just show you what that would look like. So this would be it living on our network. So this would just go to this folder here versus it going to somewhere else. So just being aware of that. So you can have it on your network. People would open up the PDF, click through hyperlinks, and then it opens up local. I'm just coming from the side of they're already using something like Newforma. That's in a cloud storage. This could be a solution if you wanted to mitigate cost, and it provides all the necessary benefits that you were using something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
What else? Any other questions?
Some discussion about using SharePoint for document libraries and using the magic of relative links to a local drive.
Yeah. And again, going back to my edit action, you have this use relative paths button right here. So if I hit open, right, is it going to somewhere or not? So I'm going to open a folder. Where is it going? We'll go to my disk drive here. I don't know where that's going to go. So let me go to documents.
So when you select anything, that should make that button become active.
It won't let me select use relative paths.
Well, that's weird.
So if I select folder, it doesn't let me use a relative path for a folder. So that's why you would use a folder versus a file.
Would you if you selected a file itself? Yeah.
Well, let's go to a file. Sheets here. Boom. Open. Nope. Sheets
John
either.
says relative links will only work if the dashboard file itself is in the directory with all the content.
Okay. So let me go and not check this in. Let me go and file open that dashboard PDF that doesn't live in there, that lives on my drive location. So if I did this edit action, not in the cloud, does it allow me to open up my files from disk? This file open. Yes. So that is correct. That from that comment from John.
So let me repeat that. Relative links will only work if the dashboard file itself is in the directory with all the content.
Yep. So this is in my directory of my C drive, and this activated.
Thanks, John, for the eloquent words. I would have struggled to figure out how to mention that. All right. So you've created this dashboard. You've created different action buttons that go to a different path location. We have a little bit of time left. I think it's time to go on the cloud and see how this looks.
Okay, from the phone or from the web browser?
Probably do web first.
Okay. So web, app.
It's going to kick you out. Well, not this one, but
I think it will.
we can see this in real time if you go to, I don't know, if you opened up like the ATG dashboard on your review, and then as you're logging into cloud on another screen, you should see the pop-up.
It's gonna let me be in projects. Maybe they fix this, but let me go to my ATG dashboard. Let's see. Scroll down, scroll down. Yeah. So you can't view CSVs from here. So just be aware, MP4s. It has to be PDF in the cloud. So I'm in here. I can click these hyperlinks. Now, does it allow me to click to an open file? It doesn't. So it doesn't open the file itself, the folder. Hyperlinks work to the pages, which isn't the best. So I would have to go into this file folder to access everything that I need. So that's one downside, but you can select PDFs in the cloud. I would assume at some point they're going to allow it to function where I click this. See how I have my index? It shows an index finger. It's not opening up a folder. But I can check it out, which you've already gone through this. I'm not going to go through and do this again, but yeah, it won't let me. So projects doesn't allow you to click through the dashboard. What does it do on my phone? So let's go to stop sharing for a moment and we'll talk through my phone since I can't share from my phone.
And did you test the weather link?
The what?
The weather link that you had on your cloud, your dashboard?
Oh, good call.
Like would a web link do it? Because that could be a different story and still be of value.
Confirm. So I can.
Cool.
Yeah, it doesn't let you open folders yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my phone. It's probably gonna kick me out. No, look it. So I wonder if they changed the authentication.
You can be in both at the same time?
I'm in it on my phone. Okay, so I'm in projects. Let's see my phone. Yes, I'm looking down. I'm sorry, but I'm gonna. People will probably comment on that, and I'm sorry. This is alphabetical, which is great, but it messes me up because I wasn't looking alphabetically before. Okay, so I can click open the PDF. Does hyperlinks work on my phone? No. No hyperlinks on my phone yet.
Okay.
But I can view the PDF. That's cool. And you can see revision history on your PDFs from your phone. The glare, I know. So you can see revision histories on your PDF. Pretty cool, right? I mean, on your phone. And you can see the older versions. Let's go. More updates. So I can go to revision history, see the older PDF. Because remember, that's how projects works. Mm-hmm. You can, when you check in, it's a new version of it. That's pretty cool. Okay. Let's go into a paid for one. Sorry, well, permissions that I can access it. So in one, you have the ability to vision history, but I can't mark up yet. So on the phone app, you cannot yet mark up. I can't check out, essentially, because it says the PDF is locked. So they're getting there. Slowly but surely, things are ticking along, especially with the revision history. That's pretty cool. I don't know. They say that it's Bluebeam Anywhere, that everything from a functionality of Studio will be in the mobile device. So they said that. That's where my comment's going to say everything's moving incrementally into the cloud. So that's good.
It's getting stronger.
Yes. The revision history is a good one. Because my thought would be it would be just like Project Rover where you just view it on your phone. But the cache thing will be the next thing. Let me disconnect from my internet. Did they fix that yet? So airplane mode, what happens?
Ooh,
OMG.
Still works?
Still works. It didn't before. Literally, just like last week, I had this call. Did not work. I can click. Oh, wait. No, sorry, I had to back out. System error, system error, system error, but I can click through it. So it's moving along. Before it would just like system error, can't get in, right? Right now I can click through my files. I just can't click open the PDFs yet. So that they need to figure out the caching local.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be like you're going out to the field for sessions. Let me go into sessions. And you need to mark up on the PDF. It says unable to join the session in the studio. So they just need to fix the caching thing essentially for your internet, because Project Rover used to do that where it would cache local before you got to the field. You just have to open it and then you can access your files. So
that's going to be crazy though when they figure out that caching, and especially if they incorporate with their Go Canvas friends. There's going to be so much power on your phone.
Yeah, I personally like the pivot to not having it be. Let's go this route. I like the pivot to mainly focus on their native application, which is what they're known for. So their focus is extending the reach of that desktop application via the cloud now. So I love that about the pivot that they did towards that. So now we have more reach with the full functionality that we all love from markups in the cloud, soon to be on the phone and more so in the web-based app. But they're slowly taking along and adding these into here. So excited.
Definitely.
Okay, so digital dashboards. You can go through my step-by-step guide. I don't talk about this JavaScript run because it's a little bit more advanced in there, I believe. Maybe I do. I don't recall. It's been a couple of years. But yeah, so kind of step-by-step guide of how we can go through and create digital dashboards. Hyperlinks don't work here. They do for navigation, but you can't open up files. Sorry. Hopefully at some point we will. It'll just populate some type of, I don't know, UI in here, right? There's pop-ups. Yeah, this would be a pop-up. So they'd have to figure out the web-based app. And then how would it navigate in the phone? Would it just jump you directly to that folder? It probably would. And then you would see those PDFs. So I'm just thinking through the development. They need to develop this to go to a folder. And I don't think they have a UI. Oh, it scared me for a second. To bring me to like, it needs to bring me back to here, to this, right? That's what it needs to do when I click that. And I don't think they have the UI figured out yet.
Magical, magical, magical. I'm really excited. You know, I know when Cloud first came out earlier this year, we were like, yeah, But now you see like these little incremental updates, and every time you get in there, like, hey, that was that new? It's pretty cool. Was it this year? It was last year.
Last year. But I'm excited because we have things to talk about every single time we're on here, because there's actually updates frequently happening now. So they actually are developing more and more every single week as we talk. It was getting kind of stale there for a little bit. So it's exciting for you all users. They are updating the base app and upgrading their integration. So great things to come. I can't wait for them to get the Bluebeam IDs. That's going to be helping out with deployment with your tie to your tool chests. I would hope that they would do integration into profiles, but really I think they could solve a lot of issues for folks that are using custom statuses if they just made custom statuses exportable at the end of the day. Yeah.
If only there was a way that we could request or make a suggestion.
Is there?
Remember? It's been a while. But hey, that studio project file, so last Tuesday's when that came out, October 29th. So from iOS, access your studio project files, browse folders, view revisions, and keep your projects moving forward wherever they are.
also join sessions from email invitations from your phone. So join sessions by tapping shared links or email invitations, directly connecting you into your collaborative workspace with fewer steps. So that's pretty cool. Android, well, they got an update on the 29th as well. View live status and comment updates from markups. Interact with any session markup by tapping on it to view status updates and comment replies in real time.
Yep.
That's cool.
So that's the ability to see in sessions your, we'll move this over here.
Mm-hmm. So again, they're moving pretty quick here. Wild.
Once this loads.
Yeah.
What?
I was looking to see if there was any other little tidbits.
Yeah, so the ability to go through, select a markup, and you'll be able to check out statuses here on the side. So you'll have all of your statuses. Again, exporting statuses needs to happen. But you can select a markup and leave a comment. So you are able to do that on your phone now on the Android. Man, that's an old one. That's Patrick. We were just talking about it. We're talking about Patrick because we're going to have him on at some point to talk about Dynamo. Funny. Okay. So that is the view of dashboards. You have the ability to create digital dashboards. This is something that you can utilize at some point, hopefully. Fingers crossed, everything is initiated into the web application. That's what they said, right? So it's not more wishful thinking, I hope. It's more of at some point this will be available. So you can start getting the ground working if you want to use this as a CA tool in replacement for some of those items like Newforma that has some markups that you can send out to people, right? Sending files. If you want to stay agnostic and neutral, you would probably want to use something like this because you can share links, right? From a project perspective, if that's where it's stored. Now, if you are worried about storage and security, which some folks are, no knock on that. You could do this as a digital dashboard on your local drive. You just don't have that ability to share those links out, right, from a file storage perspective. But you can store any file type you want here. You can even store a Revit project as a single user, not work shared. That's what ACC is for. But I can work off a Revit project that is stored in here. If I'm a single one user, you just open it and it will allow you to open it in Revit and work on it and save it back.
So maybe a neat trick for someone who has a home computer and a work computer and they need to work on the same file without commuting into the office every day.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go.
One
I'd imagine
location.
the same would work for Civil 3D, but
yeah, I don't think we've ever tested it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe we'll have to. But the Excel file is great. Word, a video, a zip file doesn't work. PDF package does work, so that would be your replacement for a zip file for all those people that didn't know. Bluebeam does create their own zip files, but as a .pdf extension, which is pretty cool. I think that's it.
Yeah, most things work except zip files and exes. So.
Yep. Oh, because I know Doug loves creating these. The other thing that does not work is sets. Oh, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you can't have a set navigation.
I wish there was like a limitation breakdown. You know, I know like there is one for ACC. Like these are the 85 file types that ACC can do it. I wonder if there was one for Studio.
Not that I know of.
Put it in the Googlemalizer.
The Googlemalizer. But you will be able to service your Studio as a network in the future in terms of what you can do and manage it. Right now, it requires Studio Prime. So you do have to pay for those folks that were wondering it because it is essentially the Wild West unless you deactivate Studio. There is an ability to deactivate Studio. when you install it. So if you're looking for that, you can email us here at ATG and we'll get you the information on that. But yes, so be aware of when you're going through and uploading these, it all lives in the AWS server of Bluebeam. If you want to manage it and see what people are storing in there, you need Studio Prime currently. But yeah, I think that's it. I think we pretty much covered everything. We went through in dashboards. We checked the web-based application, and then we also checked the mobile device for dashboards and what the limitations are there currently. If you're watching this on the YouTube land, it's ever changing. So this may have been updated and these will be activated. Probably when everything's done, we'll revisit this and see how it works on there and maybe just do a deeper dive or just kind of, this was a high level overview of quickly going through and creating these things. But you can always refer back to the digital dashboard white paper that details how you can go through and create buttons, links, do this in PowerPoint like I did for graphics, unless you like easy markups, background colors like this, then you don't need to. But there are some ways to make things pop more if you wanted to.
Okay, hang on. We're going to test something because Tom's got a good question, and I think it ties in with what I mentioned for what's new, is that if I send you a notification to a session and you're going to get that email on your phone, if you click on the email link in your phone, will it open up that session in the mobile app? With 1 minute to go, here we go. I'm going to go find a markup. I'm trying to hurry. Make a little thing here, and then I notify attendee. Choose Michael.
Nope. No. It won't go to my, I'll get it from this here and I'll be able to click on it. I'll need to send one to you.
Because it should work on your phone though.
It would have to be Joe Demo.
Oh.
Email address. Yeah.
I can do that too.
Yeah. If you find Joe Demo markup, you can send it to me.
Alert attendee. Yeah, Tom, that's a good, there we go. Done. That's a good test. I think that's what I read in that what's new for last week. Release notes. Bluebeam.
So let me sign in to sessions to
iOS. Join sessions from email invitations. Quickly join sessions by tapping shared links directly from. So if this is true, then Tom, I think that answers that.
Okay. So you emailed a notification to me.
Yes.
Maybe I need to check my spam. We'll have to revisit this probably. I'm going to assume. I might not even have email notifications on here.
All right. Have fun, Doug. Well, maybe we'll leave that as a cliffhanger for later this week.
Yeah, we'll leave that at a cliffhanger. Next week, we'll talk about the email, and I'll figure out a way to get it to a mobile device. Then we'll go through and see that, because I probably don't have notifications for that one. So
yeah, send me one, and I'll test it, and then I'll just email you, Tom, and then we'll tell everybody else next week.
Perfect.
All right, y'all. Have a good rest of your week. If you haven't yet, go vote. There you go, Doug. And if not, we'll see you next week.
Yep. See you all next week.
See ya.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of the other content on our channel.